And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. Hey, wait. Oh, hang on, phone's ringing. Hang on. Hey, here we go again. Welcome to EDK, everyone. What are we doing with knowledge today? Yes. What do I need the room to be? And what do I need you to be? Yes, I do. Right. This week in EDK, we're talking about women that have changed the world. Women that have done great things. Why are we talking about women especially? Because 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, 1,000 years ago, women, ladies, did not get the same fame. They didn't get the credit. They didn't get the popularity that they deserved. It's only now, and we're still not perfect, it's only now in our lives now that women are getting the right credit. They're getting hopefully paid the right amount of money for what they do. They're given the same responsibilities. We've still got a little way to go. Talk to your families and your teachers about this, but we're going in the right direction. I'm going to talk to you about one woman today in EDK. You're not going to forget this woman. I'm reading this book, Great Women Who Changed the World. Okay, it's a good book. And today we're going to talk about a lady called Rosa Parks. Have you heard of Rosa Parks? No, well, I'd heard of her a few years ago, but over the last few years, she's been talked about a lot in schools, and there's lots of other famous women who've changed the world in this book too. Anyway, Rosa Parks, let me read it to you. I only want you to remember three things. 1, her name. 2, the year that she became famous. And 3, what she did. Okay, Rosa Parks. One day in 1955, so that's just after, a few years after the Second World War, so just after the Second World War, and before England won the Men's World Cup and a man walked on the moon. So it's in between those two things with a few years either side. In 1955, Rosa Parks was taking the bus home. She had no idea that she was going to do something incredible. Now, when Rosa was a young lady, there were laws in America and in other parts of the world. There were laws in America that if you had white skin, you could sit down on the bus and stand up on the bus. If you had black skin, you were not allowed to sit down if the bus was completely full. So if the bus was full up, you had to stand up if you had black skin, and you had to let the white people sit down. Now, this is absolutely awful. I know lots of you are thinking, hopefully all of you are thinking, that is so bad. But it was the law, it was the rule. So when there were no seats left on the bus, everyone was sat down. If you were a black-skinned person, you had to stand up. And if you're a white person, you could sit down. Anyway, the bus got full. Rosa's on the bus, it gets completely full. And she's sitting down at the moment because she's allowed to. Then the bus gets full and some white people get on. The bus driver says, excuse me, can you stand up for the white person? Rosa says, no. This was an incredibly brave thing to do. Anyway, she didn't move. She didn't argue. She didn't shout. She didn't scream. She didn't swear. She just said no. She didn't move. Anyway, she then got arrested. Yep. She got arrested because it was against the law. She got put into jail. But what happened was this then made the news. It became a really famous thing. And then eventually the law got changed. The law got changed so that white and black people could sit down whenever they needed to. So why is Rosa Parks famous? She probably wasn't the only person to say no, but she was the first person, I think, to say, no, I'm not going to stand up for a white person. I'm going to stay here. What a brilliant story. Here are the pages from this book. It's a really great book. In fact, It's going to cost a bit more than £5, but I'd be lovely to get some of these in the Oakleaf bookshop. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. It's a really, truly brilliant book. Just to whet your appetite a bit, just to get you excited. In here we've got Gertrude Ederle, I think that's how you say it. Frida Kahlo! She's one of our EDK artists. Mary Anning, lots you heard about her. Marie Curie, Mary C. Cole, Amelia Earhart, Emmeline Pankhurst, Anne Frank. There's loads of brilliant people in here. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. What do I want you to remember from today? Rosa Parks in 1955 said, no, I'm not going to stand up for a white person. The laws were then changed soon after that. What a difference she made. See you next time on EDK. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering.